All right, I think we're back. The overlords shut us down. That was not good. Let me get our chat back up here. Yeah, so not sure where the live stream cut off, but yeah, we we got shut down. YouTube said, "Nope, sorry." I honestly I have no clue what it was. I assumed that maybe it was that coin in the headlines of in the description maybe. I don't know. Point is, YouTube, we just got censored. We said something that they did not like and they shut us down. They may shut us down again for reasons I can't explain. I know that we are in the middle of a mass censorship across the board when it comes to all things crypto, and we could all put our tinfoil hats on and pretend to understand why this is happening, but I think we all know what's really going on. It's just simply, hey, you're discussing things that we don't like and is a danger to us, so we're shutting you down. And that's exactly what happened. Anyway, after a very strongly worded letter to YouTube, they got us turned back on. We'll see how long it lasts. I am appealing the warnings and the strikes that they have given me for simply reading headline news. Not sure how reading that Janet Yellen names a new Fed is harmful or dangerous to anybody, but that's what they're claiming. So anyway, might need to start looking for a new streaming service is what this is sounding like to me. If we're just going to get shut down anytime we read headline news, then we definitely need to be looking elsewhere. This is absolutely ridiculous. I could spend the next 45 minutes ranting about this because I'm so upset right now, but let's try to pick up where we left off, shall we? Janet Yellen names Fed Associate Director as pick for acting OCC Chief. As reports emerged last week that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was gearing up to name a new acting head of the U.S. banking regulator, Yellen has announced her intention to appoint Michael Hsu as first Deputy Comptroller of the Office of Comptroller of the Currency, or the OCC. Hsu previously worked as an Associate Director in the Division of Supervision and Regulation at the Federal Reserve. There, he supervised some of the U.S.'s largest banks. Before that, he also spent time with the International Monetary Fund and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now he'll ascend to the seat of acting comptroller on Monday. Quote, Mike has devoted his career to the stability and supervision of America's banking system. He is among the most talented and principled regulatory officials that I have ever had the pleasure of working with, and I am confident that he will execute this role with integrity and efficiency. In a statement from the Treasury, Hsu said he's looking forward to using his time as the acting comptroller to address the most urgent problems at hand. Quote, I am looking forward to building on the agency's long history and rich heritage. My focus as acting comptroller will be to solving urgent problems and addressing pressing issues until the 32nd comptroller is confirmed. Hsu takes the reins from Blake Paulson, who served as the interim of Brian Brooks' departure. Brooks has made considerable efforts to expand the OCC's framework for crypto. During his time, he issued 2 letters clarifying federally chartered banks could transact in stablecoins and host reserve accounts for stablecoin issuers, as well as granting the first conditional bank charter to a crypto company in Anchorage. So yeah, he seems to be somewhat crypto friendly. We will see as time goes on here. I know we all get real nervous when we start thinking about regulators entering the space. Next up, VanEck submits its SEC filing to create an ETH exchange-traded fund, which we got news of a couple weeks ago. I guess the process is just moving forward here. Let's dig in and find out what's going on. Asset manager VanEck has filed to create an Ether-focused exchange-traded fund according to public filings, as noted in the VanEck Ethereum Trust filing published Friday. Oh, I guess they've already got a trust. That's interesting. Quote, the trust investment objective is to reflect the performance of the MVIS Crypto Compare Ethereum benchmark rate less than expenses of the trust operations. In seeking to achieve its investment objective, the trust will hold Ether and will value its shares on a daily basis on the reported MVIS Crypto Compare Ethereum benchmark rate, which is calculated based on prices contributed to the exchange that the sponsors, as defined below, affiliate. Boy, that's dry. He believes that the top 5 Ethereum exchanges based on the industry-leading crypto benchmark group. Oh my goodness, wow. So yeah, they're, I guess, just moving forward with the VanEck Ethereum ETF. We'll see how long it takes the SEC to approve it, if they ever do. Turkey's back in the news. Turkish crypto exchanges must report transactions over $1,200 to the finance minister. The finance minister says. Pardon me. I'm all riled up over here. The country is rushing to regulate the crypto market after 2 local crypto exchanges went offline in April. Went offline or got disappeared, one of the two. Turkish crypto exchanges will now have to report purchases exceeding 10,000 Turkish lira, which only is $1,200 US. How crazy is that? 2 financial authorities under upcoming anti-money laundering (AML) regulations, according to Turkish Finance and Treasury Minister Lütfü Elvan, who discussed the rules on CNN last night. The Turkish government vowed to swiftly regulate the local crypto industry after 2 local cryptocurrency exchanges shut down operations overnight within days of each other in April, prompting an international manhunt for the CEO of one of the platforms. Shortly after the incidents, this guy, the head of Turkey's central bank, said the crypto regulations were coming soon, although he said outright ban was unlikely. Even though just weeks before, that's all the news that we were getting out of Turkey was that they were banning crypto. That was about a month straight, all of April. Was Turkey every day, new headline, we're banning crypto. And now they're wanting to regulate it. It's no wonder why these CEOs up and disappeared, right? When you had the government claiming for a month straight that they were going to ban the industry that they had helped build. I kind of get it. I'd probably want to disappear too. Moving on. 2 backed institutional executives have left the company. Backed is kind of a... what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of a B2B crypto company that had popped up over the past few months. 2 high-level executives from Bakkt have taken up new roles in the crypto space in the past month. Laura Edelman, Bakkt's former head of market development, is now working as global head of sales at messaging trade platform Paradigm, according to Telegram announcement. Per LinkedIn, Edelman began her new role this month. Before Bakkt, Edelman worked at an Intercontinental Exchange Incorporated, or ICE, which owns and operates a digital assets company as well as the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, that company owns the entire New York Stock Exchange. That's absolutely insane. Former Bakkt head of custody John Conley now leads institutional custody sales and business development at crypto lending platform Genesis. A source familiar with the matter told the blog. So yeah, just some shakeups in a big corporate crypto institution. Moving on. New York Attorney General sues to halt the operations of crypto app company CoinSeed. Seems like every day we're getting new headline news that New York is banning some other crypto company. And we know why. We've talked about that. It has everything to do with the fact that that's where Wall Street's located, right? Wall Street does not want crypto, Wall Street does not want crypto in New York unless they are somehow profiting from it. And we all know that right now they are unable to profit from it. So they are very salty and trying to ban everybody that they can. Yeah, so this CoinSeed, which if we dig in here, I read the article last night. They haven't even operated in New York since like 2018, I think, or something crazy like that. Yep, the New York Attorney General is just going after them now for reasons that I can't quite explain. Quote, in the months since we filed our suit, the greed perpetrated by the CoinSeed and its CEO has not only continued but grown. Because the greed that, is perpetrated by Wall Street, that's definitely subsided, right? This company has continued to operate illegally, holding investor funds hostage and conducting unauthorized trades in investors' portfolios while depleting accounts and transferring virtual currency to an offshore, unregulated trading platform. We filed this motion to immediately halt CoinSeed's unlawful activity and protect the investments that are left. Sounds like one side of the coin to me. I haven't looked into this CoinSeed, nor have I ever heard of them, but I'm certainly not going to take the New York Attorney General's word for it. I would like to do my own research and find out what's really happening with this company. Anyway, that's New York getting left in the dust on the wrong side of history news. Moving on. Miami mayor personally bought Bitcoin and ETH when $1.9 trillion stimulus check passed. I don't know if this is the best look for this guy, but let's continue reading. In February, the mayor of Miami told Decrypt that he planned to make some personal cryptocurrency purchases. He did on March 6th. There's that guy. Handsome fella. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez told Decrypt that he planned to make some personal crypto purchases. At the end of this year's Ethereal Summit, he revealed that he had bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. In an interview with Decrypt in February, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez said he planned to personally buy some cryptocurrency soon. He was deciding between Bitcoin, ETH, and Doge. Good lord. Now he's made his purchase on March 6th. Quote, I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, Mayor Suarez told Decrypt. So yeah, good for you, sir. Good for you. It's progressive leaders like this that are, I think, going to really, do well over the next 10 years. Just my thoughts. Moving on. Crypto market firms pour another $10 million into BitPanda. BitPanda, the Vienna-based crypto exchange and neo-broker, has topped up its recent $170 million Series B fundraise with another $10 million. 10 million euros, roughly $12 million. Jump Capital and Wintermute Trading have invested in the company, alongside with venture capital firm Leadblock Partners. In March, BitPanda raised $170 million in a Series B, led by Peter Thiel's investment firm, Valor Ventures. Interesting. So yeah, maybe it's something to keep an eye on. Peter Thiel looking to buy BitPanda. Even though, didn't we just have Peter Thiel in the news pumping out all sorts of FUD around cryptocurrencies? That's right, of course he was. That's, when he was in the process of brokering this deal at BitPanda. We gotta get those prices down and get it even cheaper, right? Fucking people. And for those of you who might be invested in the miners, Marathon miners have started censoring Bitcoin transactions. Here's what that means. Despite Marathon's efforts, transactions from the dark web market still made it into the block. Marathon Digital Holdings, ticker symbol MARA, new mining pool has mined a Bitcoin block that is, quote, fully compliant with U.S. regulations, meaning that the company has started excluding transactions from entities it believes are sanctioned by the U.S. Department of Treasury or have been involved in dark web activity. The Marathon OFAC pool, which was first announced in late March, refrains from processing transactions from those listed on the U.S. Department of Treasury Specially Designated Nationals and Blocked Persons List, or SDN, to stay compliant with U.S. regulatory standards, according to the company. So, yeah. Kind of goes into that whole narrative that Kevin O'Leary had been pumping over the past few months about only buying clean Bitcoin. I don't know. See, here's the thing. To me, I hear this, and it sounds like just one more way for them to regulate who can and who can't buy Bitcoin, or cryptocurrencies for that matter, right? Because who's to say whether or not it's a clean Bitcoin or a clean crypto? I mean, I don't know. The whole thing just really stinks to me, and I feel like it's going to evolve into some new way for regulators to ensure that the poor people can't be getting their hands on, real digital assets, that they'll have to go through banks and buy that paper crypto that they can't actually custody themselves. Because we know what the banks really want to do. They really want to get their hands on crypto so that they can rehypothecate it and loan out the real crypto that they're holding, and only lend it to us in paper form. That's what we're gonna see. That's what this is all leading to. This is why I constantly preach to people, if you're gonna get into crypto, you make damn sure that you have your own custodial wallet that you can store your own crypto on. Because guys, I know this is getting into some tinfoil hat territory, but we are rapidly approaching the point where you being able to hold your own digital assets and custody them. Guys, I think that's about to go the way of the dinosaur. I really do. I think if these big institutions have their way, we'll never, ever get our hands on real crypto ever again. They want it all for themselves so that they can loan it out and rehypothecate it to infinity, right? And do exactly what they've done with fiat currencies for hundreds of years. That is what they're wanting to do. That is what they're trying to do. And I believe that stuff like this is just the first step on that road. Moving on. New partnership sees DeFi and NFTs come to Cardano. As smart contracts get ready to launch on Cardano, Ocam and Bondly reveal their partnership to grow NFT and DeFi use on the network. Recent announcements culminated in ADA hitting an all-time high yesterday of $1.69. Despite that, as critics often point out, Cardano does not have smart contracts. Yup, there is that little elephant in the room, that old chestnut. You will soon be able to participate in Uniswap Liquidity Mining Initiative. Read all about it, including the guide on how to get started in our latest article. Yeah. It's, I'm going to file this headline under, I'll believe it when I see it. I have become very skeptical on Cardano in the past few months, which you guys know. And a lot of it just simply has to do with Charles. I personally feel like Charles wants to spend all of his time on Safari and making YouTube videos and seems to not really give a damn about this Cardano project that he's built. And then there's the price action of Cardano. Every time we see Cardano look to make any sort of move, immediate selling pressure kicks in. And I have to wonder where that selling pressure is always coming from, right? Every time. So, again, we could put our tinfoil hats on and we could come to our own conclusions here. But I think you guys realize what I'm trying to say. There's definitely something very scammy that seems to be happening on the Cardano network. Maybe it's just people taking profits. Maybe, I could be 100% wrong. And if I am, I'll be the first to admit it. But every time I have seen Cardano's price action begin to take off, the selling pressure that we see immediately kick in and drive that price right back down is obscene. And I have no explanation for it. It's just something that I've witnessed over the past few months. Moving on. Phillips auction house to accept crypto for Banksy artworks, which we've been getting wind of over the past few months as well. The auction house will accept Bitcoin and Ether for Banksy's, quote, Laugh Now Panel A, valued between $2.8 million and $4.1 million. Good lord. $4.1 million for this? Wow. So yeah, Phillips is now selling Banksy's for crypto. Interesting, right? We knew it was coming. They'd been talking about it for a while. Here's a story that caught my eye a little bit, and something that we definitely know is certainly a problem in the crypto world right now. Art has a money laundering problem. NFTs could make it worse. Yeah. Non-fungible tokens have shaken up the art world, but as some experts suggest, could exacerbate its money laundering problem. I would agree with this. Non-fungible tokens, blockchain-based title deeds tied to digital or physical items, have exploded into the art world like an upstart rebel fresh out of art school, tearing up conventions and leaving establishments bewildered. In recent months, multi-million-dollar sales of NFTs in veritable auction houses, Christie's and Sotheby's, have grabbed headlines. Overnight, digital artist People became a household name and one of the highest-earning living artists. Artworks by Bankies are being torn up and turned into NFTs, while Russia's iconic State Heritage Museum has announced an exhibition of NFT art. So it is a problem, right? Because what's to stop me from creating an NFT, sending $100 to a buddy of mine, saying, "Hey, buy my NFT for $100, establish the baseline price of $100, send the money back to me," and there's definitely some shadiness going on in the NFT world right now that I hope gets addressed, because NFTs, as you guys know, is something that is very near and dear to my heart. But yeah, there can be no doubt that this is happening in the art world right now. And you could make the argument that this has been happening since the beginning of time, right? That people have been laundering money through art since we've had fiat currencies. And I think a lot of people, especially in crypto, would simply make the argument that, yeah, this has been happening now for hundreds of years, but the difference is that for hundreds of years, only the richest of the rich could afford to launder their money through art. Now, even the poorest of the poor can launder their money through art. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that that's a good thing by any means. I'm just saying that this is one of those things about decentralization that allows the average person to have the exact same tools and abilities that have only been designated for the richest of the rich for hundreds of years. So that's the point I wanted to make with this article. Yes, it's a problem. Yes, it's something that needs to be addressed. But I think there's something beautiful in the fact that this is giving the average person the ability to do things with art that, again, was only traditionally reserved for the 1% of the world. So that's my 2 cents on that. Moving on. Last up in our headlines, NFT artist People Pleaser, who is one of my favorite artists. If you haven't looked at any of her work, definitely give her a look on Twitter. She's incredible. Very, very talented artist. Trusting marketplaces defeats the purpose of NFTs. People Pleaser, a digital artist known for NFTs featuring DeFi symbolism, shared her views at the Decrypt-powered Ethereal Summit this week. There she is. My hero. People Pleaser thinks there is too much trust involved in the NFT space since NFT marketplaces are heavily centralized. Yeah, think of like Nifty Gateway, where you literally have two people, the head of the company, that are the gatekeepers to decide what's art and what isn't. NFT Gateway upsets me tremendously. But luckily, NFT artists have not violated that trust, she said. Non-fungible tokens are unique. That's the whole point, and the reason why some NFTs sell for millions of dollars. But one of the foremost NFT artist people pleasers said the NFT industry is overly reliant on trust, despite the trustless blockchain technology upon which it is based. There's nothing to stop artists from minting the same NFT file as an NFT on multiple platforms. That's true. That, quote, kind of defeats the purpose of NFTs, she said on the Ethereal Blockchain Conference. Most NFTs are currently, quote, hosted on a Web3 protocol called an Interplanetary File System, or IPFS. But IPFS is a way to reference the location of a piece of data rather than store it. The actual location of the GIF, JPEG, or MP4 an NFT points to could be stored anywhere, and most of the big NFT marketplaces store the NFTs themselves. So it's perfectly possible to mint the same image as two different NFTs on two different marketplaces. People Pleaser, for instance, minted her NFT on Foundation, but she could have also minted the same file as an NFT on another platform. But she didn't. NFT artists, she said, have, quote, been respectful of that, and nobody's violated that trust. Decentralization is part of People Pleaser's short NFT career. In March, she told an NFT bearing a flashy advertisement for decentralized exchange Uniswap for $525,000. The buyer was the Pleaser DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, that fans set up to pool money through smart contracts. Pleaser DAO has moved on from its sole devotion to People Pleaser's artwork last month. The DAO bought Edward Snowden's NFT for $5.4 million. People Pleaser, like the Pleaser DAO she inspired, is committed to decentralization, but neither she nor the Pleaser DAO can shift the market alone. Quote, you have to take into consideration collectors and fan base of all this kind of stuff, she said. You have to go where they are. Everybody is so centric about Ethereum and ERC20s, it's really hard to migrate to another platform. Even with high gas fees, Ethereum's the way to go. I wouldn't obviously push back on that. I have my own thoughts. But she has millions of dollars, and for her, those fees aren't a big deal. But she hopes the NFT space will branch out, and it's certainly made a lot of progress already, she said. When she minted her first NFT on Rarible, the platform didn't let her include audio and restricted the file size to 10 megs. That's certainly not the line with her videos, which NFT platforms now support. So yeah, I just wanted to read that fun little article from People Pleaser because she's kind of a hero of mine, and yeah, pretty neat. And she makes some good points. She certainly has hit the nail on the head. All right, that's it for headlines. Let's take a quick look at charts here. We've got here's Doge. You see, we did have a bit of a sell-off earlier today, but it was only about a 10% pullback and has looked to pretty much regain all of that. So still below the 69 cent mark, which I would definitely be looking at as a new resistance level here now that we've fallen below it. Take a quick look at Bitcoin, find out what it's doing. You see, the whole market had a bit of a sell-off here when Doge started dropping, which was kind of my worry coming into today. I do think that when Doge sells off like crazy, which it inevitably will do, I think we're definitely going to see the entire market pull back at that point. But hopefully quickly recover as that money then flows out of Doge and into other assets. So yeah, Bitcoin looking to recover, pretty much right back where it was before it corrected here a little bit. Ethereum still pushing to all-time highs. Look at that. ETH currently sitting around the 3,800 mark. That's incredible. Seemingly right here was the sell-off we saw in Doge, and that money obviously went from Doge right into Ethereum. So that might be be showing us what to expect tonight. When we do see a big sell-off in Doge, I wouldn't be surprised if all of it, all $95 billion, flows into ETH. Of course, personally, I'd like to see some of that money flow into the BSC because that's where my home is, where me and all my poor folk live. Binance Smart Chain, you can see pretty much unaffected by the sell-off of Doge, and is currently working its way back up. Kind of hitting its head on this fib level around the $651 mark, so we'll see if it can push through that. Cake, you see, got all my drawings in here, get rid of those. You can see Cake's still really just moving right along, following a nice little uptrend here, working its way back up. Hopefully working its way back up to my previous position here, so we can pull our LP out and see just how much money we made off of our LP position. Bake, you guys know, one of my favorite NFT plays, looking really strong. You guys remember I was pounding the table way back here when it was just above $5, saying that this is the perfect entry point. You can see what we've done since. We've seen about a 30% move since that day. So when Bake makes it to $13, I'll be sitting here going, I told you so, guys. I told you so. Next up, Harmony, really just kind of bleeding out here. No, not really bleeding out, not the right word. Just in consolidation, moving sideways. Been kind of moving sideways now for the past couple of weeks. I definitely find myself getting really, really impatient with Harmony, but I believe in the project in the long run, and we will continue to hold and see where this goes. XRP, kind of stalling out lately with all the craziness we've seen in ETH and Doge. Those two definitely taking the spotlight from every other project. So you can see XRP has just been moving sideways here around this $1.58 fib level. Be curious to see what that does when we see a sell-off in Doge, if some of that money doesn't pour into XRP. And last up on my charts, as always, guys, if there's anything that you're wanting to take a look at, any charts you want to dig into, do not be afraid to jump in the chat and let me know. We will certainly dig in and take a look. Spark Points really bled out. We did have a nice breakout here, and I thought that was going to be the beginning of a solid run. That has really just completely petered out. We see we've come right back down to our all-time lows again. So I love the project. I love the team. They're doing great things. Every day they're updating the community on what they're doing. Every day they're pushing the ball forward. But my goodness, we are just not seeing any of the price action that we were hoping to see out of it. It just continuously seems to just not perform, right? And I'm really beginning to wonder if we don't need to be moving our money somewhere where it's going to perform, you know? Of course, the fear is that the second we do that, then this thing's going to pop and really take off. But gosh, we've been in this trade now for almost a full month, and we just haven't seen any returns at all. It almost feels like a dead project, but we'll continue to monitor it, continue to see where it goes. I definitely have a stop loss put in at this point. We're close enough to my position now that if it continues to bleed out, I'm going to exit the trade and move on to something that's going to make me a little more money. So that's my thought process on that. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for hanging out. I know it's kind of a crazy day with YouTube shutting us down and all that. So we'll hope that doesn't happen again. And yeah, hopefully we'll do it all again tomorrow. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed today's show, go ahead, hop on over to Twitter, give me a follow there, and as always, hit the lights, hit the subscribe, ping the notifications so that you know when we are going live, and you can get the updates on crazy things happening by following me on Twitter and hitting the notifications there. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow.